discussed about okay different type of okay functions known as array function, standard function with parameter. Okay, did you understand? Please remember that. Okay, please remember that what happening is when we want to work with JavaScript, first of all, we should know how many type of JavaScript versions are there. Even in previous session, we discussed about this one as well. Number one is standard JavaScript. Number two is JavaScript ECMAScript version 6.0. Before to know about this JavaScript, here what we have to do is we need to know the okay what does mean by JavaScript ES6. Because of if it is a PageMaker, MS Office 2017, MS Office 2019, kind of version is there, but in JavaScript we had okay JavaScript version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 not is there. There is no kind of versions. But there is a version only known as a ES 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even from 5 only we know about JavaScript ES5. And then they updated very drastically in JavaScript as JavaScript ES6. Why we need to pronounce this one instead of JavaScript 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 kind of thing. Okay, did you understand? So moreover here we could see there is a JavaScript has been invented by Netscape Navigator. Okay, world first browser it is. Whatever functionality now we are using in Internet Explorer IE, which is developed by Microsoft, is okay. Copy this Netscape Navigator browser. That's it. And then they use those browser, operating system like Windows 7, Windows Me, Windows XP. In that versions, they use that Internet Explorer. Now that is a Netscape Navigator. There is that company is no more. Now it doesn't have any company. Okay, in the name of Netscape Navigator, even there is no browser yet. So they developed JavaScript, and then when they wind up which means when they shut down the company, then they okay submitted this JavaScript open source software to European Standard Committee of Organization known as ECMA. Okay, so they are here developers. What they did, they developed the JavaScript as ECMAScript version 4.0, 5.0, and then 6.0. So they implemented one by one in different versions. Finally, in the version JavaScript ES6th version has been got popularity and it had a lot of advanced database and server side application, the server side functionality as well. Okay, so that's why JavaScript had two versions. Standard JavaScript and JavaScript ES6. Did you understand? Did you understand? So when we are learning this JavaScript, primarily it had a couple of functionalities there, nothing but variables is there. We know that the variables has been divided into, okay, let and const. Okay, let and CYNST const. Here you could see that the JavaScript, which means this is a standard JavaScript and this is a JavaScript ES6. If there is no standard JavaScript, there is no JavaScript ES6. There is no updates. Okay, those updates has been came from standard JavaScript. And there is a and there is a function is there. Okay. And that the function also nothing but standard JavaScript. This is called as a standard function. And there is a array function is there. Async, ASYNC, async and await function is there. Okay, function with the parameters are there, which we discussed yesterday. And even here we had a, okay, here we had a callback function. Callback function also be there. Function handlers, handlers are there. Kind of function has been implemented by JavaScript ES6 from standard JavaScript known as functions. And then after that, here we could see we had okay, conditional statement statements are there. Known as if else if, okay, kind of switch, kind of things are there. Okay, did you understand? So then after that, here you could see that the conditional statement has been implemented by, sorry, sorry. So here they implemented by ternary operator. Listen carefully. Here they mentioned as a operator. Okay. And then after that, there is a multiple kind of methods also be there. So in that methods, we discussed about, okay, DOP, document object properties, BOM, browser object methods, okay, date method, and kind of methods it had. And then the methods has been implemented as a do method. Okay, and then though that methods has been developed by map method, fetch method, kind of methods has been implemented by JavaScript ES6. Okay, where we have to use these functions variable, let const, where we have to use this one. Usually in this coding, what happening is, you can use older version of the JavaScript with newer version of the JavaScript, or with okay, newer version of the JavaScript and an older version of the JavaScript. You can mix those coding syntax. No issue. If it is MS Office, Excel, PowerPoint, okay, not possible to mix those versions. If it is MS Office, MS Excel is there, not possible to work with that one. Did you understand? So here in this HTML, CSS, or in this way, JavaScript, we can do that one. In such case, what we did in yesterday's session, we discussed about the functions. What does mean by standard function? What does mean by array function? What does mean by function with a parameter? Okay. And even I assigned you one task yesterday known as callback function. I hope that you understand that one. In that callback function also, in upcoming class, I will tell you about that one as well. And in that callback function also, it contains parameters where we need to use the parameter to share data from one function to another function. It is a mandatory thing which we need to understand. Okay, did you understand? Did you understand? So moreover, here we could say, there is a variable which we discussed. There we use the functions which we discussed. Is there any relation between these two things? Okay. Is there any relation between these two things? Is the most important thing. When we want to write a logic, either in React or in JavaScript, in such case, we need to mix all these things to make one output. Okay. Then can we connect the function with variable or not? Usually we discussed about variable. In a variable, it contains declaration. Okay, declaration, declaration, declaration and initialization. We need to remember this one. In function, we had parameters are there. Okay, and it contains closures are there. Closures are the one of the question in interview. Closures, and it had okay, here you could see, and it had arguments, arguments. I shared that source code to you. You can refer that one. You should understand this one to explain about that function or to explain about that variable. Okay, did you understand? So here in this function, how we can use this variable is the primary question. Is called as a scoping of the variable. Okay, it is called as a scope of the variable. SCOP, scope of the variable. Okay, what does mean by this? Where we can use the variable? Did you understand? So here you could see what we will do is there we will discuss about SCOP, scope of the variable, variable. Okay, scoping of the variable. Let me discuss about this one. Why, when, how we can use this variable with functions. Okay, did you understand? Here you could see we know the syntax and structure and the procedure of function and the variable. Okay, function and the variable. We know about that one. But now what we have to do is what is the okay functions? There is a three type of variable scope is there when we want to work with functions. That is nothing but a local variable, global variable, and block variable. Block scope, local scope, okay, and global scope. So how we can use this? So first point is scoping of the variable dot HTML. We are discussing everything in HTML only. Later, after starting the React, then what we can do is we can discuss all those things in React.js as well. Usually, when we are discussing about JavaScript, we have to use that one in the HTML. That's why we are using starter template. So where we have to define only in header. In previous session, which we discussed about this one. And here you could say, okay. And here what we have to do is, I would like to define the variable. Okay. What I will do is, I will declare the variable and I will initialize the variable value, whatever it would be. That initialization value is called as a data type, which we discussed. And here I am not defining the variable. Second, what I will do is, I will declare the function. Okay. I will go with standard function. So here you could see there is a function is there, ABC is there. What I would like to do is, we know this syntax. We have to export that function as a function name. Here you could see this is a function. This is the name of the function. This is the parameters we have to declare. We know function with parameters which we used. These are the closures. And this is the, okay, argument. Here we have to define the argument. So what I am doing is, okay, inside the function, nothing contained outside of the function, there is no variable at. What I would like to do is, okay, when I am assigning the value outside of the function is called as a global SCOP, scope of the variable, global scope of the variable, which means what I am doing over here, where, okay, message is equal to, this is a global variable which I mentioned as a string. So this type of text is called as a, okay, data type known as this is a string, string string. And when we want to print the methods, for that we need to use DOP method. Whatever value it would be, we know document.write is a DOP method. Console.log is the, okay, also a console method. So what I would like to do is, here you could say, what I will do is document.write method is there. Inside method, what I will do is, there is a message. Okay. And after that, console also be there, console.log is there. Usually to get the output in a proper way, we will use console, because of console will show you the process, how it is rendering and kind of things. Here what I will do is, I will use the name of the variable. Did you understand? Even we didn't mention that variable value inside the function. आउटसाइड ओनली, ओके, फंक्शन का बाहर ओनली हमने वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर किया है. And when I want to use this one inside the function, I would like to print this value inside the function. This is called as a global var r global scope, global, global scop. So here what I will do is console dot log is there. There what I will do is there is a message is there, isn't it or not? Okay, inside the function, whatever outside of the variable is there, we are printing that one. Here also what I will do is I will remove that one. We know the DOP methods. Okay, let's find out the result on console itself in this example. Okay, so here what I would like to do is there is a console. We are printing the global variable value inside the function. Is it render? Is it print those values inside the function or not? In output, what we have to expect is we are expecting that the variable value print in 2 times. Let me see. Here, what I will do is scoping of the variable. Okay, we are using console that so that the value won't print inside the document. I will go with the console over there. This is global variable. This is global variable, which means whatever function we assigned above the function, whatever value we mentioned above the function, that the variable value is rendering inside the function. It's good. Okay, it will work. And what I would like to do is here you could see in these line number 18th, 19th lines, you couldn't find out the variable, but you could find out you can find out the console value, which it is rendering inside the function. So what I would like to do is local SCOP, scope, or we could say local variable, LOCL, local variable. Later I will share you the source code to practice. And here what I would like to do is variable. What is the name of this variable? There is a function name is AVC, and here I used a message. I will go with okay, demo. And here I will mention the data type as a string L variable. This is L variable. This is a local variable. Isn't it or not? So here what I will do is there is a console dot log is there. There is a console dot log is there. I would like to print this one known as a demo. Okay. So here you could see there is a, just do refresh over there. So here we have, this is a L variable, local variable, global variable inside the function, global variable outside the function. Okay, did you understand? And what I want to do is, if we are not exporting the function, it won't render the value. Okay, did you understand? It won't render the value. This is only the function which we mentioned above the function. That is only the value is rendering outside of the function. So when we are okay exporting the function value outside of the function, here you could see we had that one. Okay, so it's mandatory. So what I would like to do is here we declared initializer the value. We declared a demo as a variable. We initialized this is L variable to that declared variable. Okay, and we are printing that value in line number 23 under the console. Did you understand? If I have mentioned the console above the variable, what will happen? It is called as a hosting. Did you understand? Hosting means number first one is need to declare initialize the variable value. Second step is need to print the declared variable value. If I wrote the second step instead of first one, if I wrote declared and initialized value inside the variable as a second step instead of first one, it is called as a hosting. So then what does mean by hosting? Okay, did you understand? So in this material, okay, in this material, here I defined very clearly about only hosting. What does mean by hosting? I will share you this material, you can refer this one as well. Clearly here we discussed about that hosting. There is a function hosting is there. There is a variable hosting is there. Isn't it or not? Okay then. Then what I would like to do is, okay, what I would like to do is, I would like to print this variable value outside of the function. This is the function name, is rendering the function value. So below that function, what I would like to do is, this is, okay, this is called as a local variable, global variable. Now, so here, this is a local variable, local scope. What I will do is, here, I would like to print that local variable value inside the console. Okay, did you understand? CONSOLE console dot log is there. Here what I will do is I will mention the variable name. Isn't it or not? And then here you could see, just do refresh over there. What is happening over here? Demo is not defined. Which demo? Okay, did you understand which demo? This is only the demo located inside the function. Is not defined. Why? Because of local scope, local variable won't print outside of the function, outside of the function. Okay, there is a local variable is there. There is a global variable is there. And there is a block scope is there, block variable with conditional statement we can work with that. In upcoming session, we will discuss about that. Okay, did you understand? For this scoping of the variable, there is a clear example is there. There is a clear example. Listen carefully. Okay. So here you could see, which means we discussed about, okay, here you could say we discussed about multiple things in the beginning of the session. When I say we had variables are there, functions, conditional statements and methods are there. There is a BOM method is there. In that we had in this BOM method, we had multiple kind of methods are there. Known as alert is a method. Okay. And set a timeout is a method. Okay. And open is a method. OPN open is a method. And here you could say confirm, CONFIRM, confirm is a method. Did you understand? So we can work with this one inside the function. Okay, did you understand? So here you could see, when we want to work with the BOM method, we should know the events. Okay, because of when I hit the button, it need to show alert pop-up box. When I hit the button, it need to show one pop-up box, need to take some time to load that pop-up box. Then we have to use a timeout. Open confirm also be there. So kind of output when we want to render, we need to discuss about events. Events is very special to JavaScript. Because of there is a data types are there, variables, functions are there, conditional statement methods are available in Java, Python, PHP, .NET, Coordinator, in anywhere else. But events won't available there in the technology. That the events will available inside the JavaScript only. Events will available inside the JavaScript only. Okay, did you understand it? So then what are events? You could say how we are narrating the subject. Okay. So not only narration, it had a relation with all these things. We need to understand about this one. Okay. So event always have a relation with the function. So let me discuss about event. How many type of events are there? What are they? So events means even by using JavaScript, we can create okay, we can create a gaming app. So when we want to play a game, then here you could see we had okay, multiple kind of events are there. There mouse events are there, and then here you could see keyboard events are there. and then form events are there. Okay, form events are there. So here you could see, and there is a form events are. So what does mean by mouse event? So whatever mouse, every mouse is having three clicks: left side click, right side click, middle click. Usually for browsing, in middle click, it includes the scroll bar as well to scroll the browser. Okay, usually every button is having three clicks. In mouse also, in Lappy also you could say left, right, and main one. We have to click that one. Okay, why we need to use three clicks in a mouse? In 3D Max Maya, okay, Poser, Combustion softwares require three clicks. Okay, every click had some different options. So that's why to make a modeling, to make a texturing, to make a rigging kind of aspects, mouse is most important. Even when we are making or playing any games, we have to use mouse only. So events also be there to play, to create the games, mouse games. Okay, so there we had mouse event. Keyboard, which means up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow. These two things are not much more important, but form events are most important. What are the form events? Which means here you could see this is the JavaScript form events. If it is JavaScript form events, then where we have to assign the, okay, events. HTML form tags are there. HTML form tags are there. So we need to assign the JavaScript events to HTML form events. Okay, HTML form tags. Here you could see, please remember this one. What we need to do is, if it is a HTML form tag, there you could see there is a button is there for that button. And there is a, okay, here you could see, there is a, we had a input is there. Okay. Then there is a input button of form is there. Then after that here we had SELECT select is there. Then we had okay, OPTI one option is there. That's it. Okay. Those are only the HTML form tags. So if we want to assign events to this button, which event we have to assign? We have to assign on click event. If it is a input button, input field, then which event we have to assign? On change event. Okay, for form, which event we have to assign? On submit. Did you understand? These are also nothing but methods. We didn't discuss those things at the beginning of session. When we want to learn the scripting language or coding language, then what we have to do is there is a, okay, clear procedure is there. We need to learn that procedure only. Then we can remember easily. Did you understand? Then after that, how we have to assign the event. Okay. If I want to apply event to that button. So here I told you before, when we want to work with events, it's mandatory to assign functions. Okay. With events. If there is a event, there it contains functions. If there is a function, it contains events. Without function, event won't work. Let me see. Here what we have to do is, okay, here what we have to do is, here you could see there is a on CLICK, click event .html. You can refer this thing after that session. Even now itself, I will share this recording to you. Okay. And moreover, I'm getting some issues with these recordings in Zoom and that one as well. It may resolve within 2 to 3 days. Okay, until then we'll go with some trial version. It is having 40 minutes. After disconnect, we will rejoin this session. Okay. So here you could see, here there is a startup, which means, okay, starter template is there. So where we need to define the button. So we need to define inside the body only. Here you could see there is a button is there. Button ka text submit. That's it. This is HTML5 tag. SUB MID. Did you understand? So let me see if it is a button on click event. Okay, how it seems to be. Okay, if I hit this button, I want to see the alert pop-up box. After hitting this button, I want to see alert pop-up box. Then what we have to do? Okay, we have to write some script. Okay, here you could see usually where we have to assign the JavaScript inside the heading only. Okay, did you understand? Did you understand? And then here you could see what I would like to do is there is alert pop-up box is nothing but a bow method. Okay, so dope method as well. Okay, it is also document object property method also be there. Also the one of the method. Boom dope method is nothing but a alert. What is the role of this alert? What is the result it will give? This is a alert MESSAGM. So now you could see what I will do is if I open this browser, automatically it is opening the alert pop-up box. No, I don't want to open automatically. After hitting this button only, it need to show the alert pop-up box. That is only my requirement. But even if we hit refresh button, it also will show alert pop-up box. It also will show some alert pop-up box. But the thing is, our requirement is not after hitting the refresh button, after hitting the submit button only, it need to show the pop-up box. Then what we have to do? Did you understand what we have to do? There is a function is there. FUNCTION. I will go with function name as a ABC. And inside closures, what I would like to do is I would like to use the bow method, Control X, and I will put that one inside the closure as well. Okay. And then after that, here we could see what we have to do is we need to export the ABC function. We know about the function. It contains parameters, closures, arguments. Right now, in this example, in this requirement, it doesn't require any kind of parameters. So here what I will do, we have to assign a event. Which event we need to define over here? On-click event. Why? Because of in HTML form tag, we just assign the button itself. So here you could see there is no event. Okay, when we are writing the JavaScript, where we are writing the JavaScript only? We are writing JavaScript inside the script only. But whatever events are having in JavaScript, we need to define them inside the HTML tag on. So on CLICK is not a attribute to HTML tag. It's a JavaScript event can assign inside the HTML tag only. That is only the specialty having in events. In this on-click event, what we need to do is whatever function we are exporting, we need to export that function. Yesterday I told you, we in callback function also we need to export that function into another function. Okay, now we have to export that function into this event. Event is also a not an attribute J. ये वाला क्या है कि it is a nothing but event on click. And after hitting the click, it will execute the function. Just do save over there. Now we could see here we had a on click event, and then if I refresh, there is no alert pop-up box. Why? Okay, there is one where we have to assign the event. In on click event only, we have to assign this function. This is the most important for React. Okay, if you want to calculate the salary, if you want to make the validations, if you want to create a pagination, or if you want to create the to-do list, in React.js, events are the most important. If you want to develop any kind of web application, UIs, okay, then not require, events doesn't require, but there also need to, sometimes only, some rare of the situation only we have to work with that one. But okay, when we are working with the forms, there we have to work with the events. It's mandatory. Okay, so if you want to understand about events in React.js, this is the mandatory thing procedure you have to know. So here you could see on-click event is there. If I hit this submit button, it will show some pop-up box. If I hit submit button, it will show some pop-up box. Isn't it or not? What is happening there? There is a events are there. There what we did, we assigned that event to button. Remember, when we are writing JavaScript, where we have to write that one inside the script only. But we are assigning that JavaScript inside the button, not inside the script. Okay, that is only the speciality having inside the event. Did you understand? And then there is a, I told you before, when there is a bow method is there, alert, open, confirm, set timeout. There is a JavaScript event methods are there. Okay, what we did basically in the beginning of the session, we just discussed about there is a method. How many type of method do we have? Lot, a lot of methods we had. For example, events, for example, boom, for example, in array also I had some methods. Okay, object also had some methods. So we had multiple kind of methods we had. Okay, when we are discussing one by one, then everyone will be really, we can release what are the main, okay, methods do we have. So here we had a methods is there. When we want to work with the bow method, then how we have to work? Because of these are the methods are having relation with events and HTML form tags. Isn't it or not? So go over there. I would like to assign, what I would like to assign is, third one is, okay, OPEN BOM method, METHOD, with on-click event. So today we will discuss about only on-click event. Okay, by using these methods, we can assign the, by using these methods, we can assign the, okay, BOM methods as well. Some of the few methods when we want to apply or work with, there we have to assign the, there we have to assign the, okay, events. Okay, so we know for every HTML document we need to load the, starter template. Here we had a button is there. Button is nothing but a HTML tag itself. For this HTML tag, we are assigning the, okay, button label. And we didn't assign any attribute for this HTML tag. Even we didn't assign any kind of JavaScript for this button as well. So here what we have to do is, I want to assign on-click event. Here you could see there is a on CLI click event is there. On-click is a JavaScript event. Okay, assigned in HTML tag only. So there here you could see there is a script is there. Inside the script, what we have to do? We need to assign that BOM methods, okay, inside the function only. So that's why what I will do is I will go with function and I will define the name of function as a ABC. Okay, did you understand? And then after that here what I will do is I will assign BOM method. It's not a dope method. Nothing but open is a method. Okay, instead of alert, here in this example, what we did, we assigned open method. Which thing we have to open? Okay, so here what I would like to do is, I would like to open yahoo.com. Okay, this is the also one of the mail provider. Okay, so what I would like to do is, I will copy this one. Okay, then go to the browser. Here you could say, I will put that URL inside the open method. Open also a kind of method. After hitting the button, my requirement is, after hitting the button, it need to open this one. It need to open this one. So then we need to use this function. Usually what is the role of function? It had, okay, ABC is a function, will export, function itself export his values. So where we have to export that functions values inside an event. Where is that event? So events are located inside the HTML button tag. So what I will do is there is a ABC is there, do save over there. Okay, what I will do is here there is a open bow method is there. Just open that browser. I would like to close this yahoo.com, and here you could see there is a submit button is there. What I will do is I would like to change the button text. Okay, like Yahoo. So here what I will do is here you could say yahoo.com is there. Do save over there. Now you could see that the name seems to be like this. If I hit this button, it will open Yahoo URL. Okay. And if I hit this button, here you could see if I hit this button, it will open that URL. So what is the difference between open and then alert? Alert will show the pop-up box. This pop-up box are having some title, message, which means we assigned some string value inside that method, and we had OK button is there. Even we didn't create an OK button, isn't it or not? But we assigned some text over here. Okay. But here you could see open method also similar like this, which means here what happening? Okay, here what is happening over there? Here what happening is we discussed about two methods. Nothing but open method, okay, nothing but alert method, and then open method with the on-click event. So we had multiple kind of event as well. What are they? On change, on submit, also be there. Those are also belongs to events, isn't it or not? So here what we have to do is what is the relation between this function and event? Even here we discussed about the scoping of the variable. When we want to work with the BOM method, we have to assign that. We have to use this scope of the variable. Let me discuss about this one in next session because